what is the proper way of reading the set books? I have one set book right here. I have another one. Sorry, right here. So, how do we go about reading the set book the proper way? So, I'll advise you that the first time you want to flip through the pages of this book, you do it for general understanding. And how do you go about that? When you read the book, ask yourself about the main issues in the book. What are the main issues in the book? What is the tone of the author? So talk about the author's tone. Talk about the vocabulary or the new words as you read also. And you can also use your dictionary to maybe find out about the pronunciation of the new words as well. So main issues in the book, like some of them include the culture. We have negative aspects and positive aspects of the Nastilan culture. Education as an agent of change. We have change itself as an issue. We have gender disparity or gender inequality in Nasil as an issue, and many others. About the author's tone, look at how he addresses the various issues. And for instance, when he talks about FGM or early marriage, does he support or oppose them? Is he for modernity or tradition? And that is the first step. Read for general understanding. The second step is that you should read the book with the aim of enjoying the flow of events. So after you've understood generally what the book is all about, then you can now start going deeper with a view of enjoying the plot of the book. Here you can read together with the teacher so that you enjoy. Step number 3, try to establish the conflicts in the book. That is the challenges that the characters face. For instance, we have a conflict between Olekaelo and Rezian, and we also have a conflict between Oloisudori and Olekaelo. We have a conflict between Olarinkoi and Rezian, modernity versus traditions, and individual versus society. All these are conflicts, and once you establish the conflicts, also try to read and see how these conflicts are resolved. One of the biggest conflicts is between maybe individual and society, or modernity and tradition, or more specifically Olekaelo and Rezian, or Oloisudori and Rezian, or all of them merge into this one big conflict, where Rezian wants to go to Egerton University, but the dad says, no, you have to get married. So it builds the basis of the whole story and helps us to build the story up to the climax and then go down and resolve the conflict. So once you establish the conflicts, it becomes very easy to predict or to understand the nature of the questions in the exam. For instance, that conflict helped us to set the question in 2019, irresponsible decisions can lead to serious consequences. That question was tested, and the candidates had to answer in relation to Blossoms of the Savannah. And so you can see that Olekaelo's decision to do business with Oloisudori brought in this conflict between him and the daughter Rezian. And then, of course, the serious consequences are very clear. So as you read the book, try to understand the various challenges or hurdles that the characters go through, and they will set the basis for answering some of the KCSE essay questions that we set. So establish the conflicts and try to see the resolution of the conflicts, and then try to establish the author's intended message. What is the intention of writing the book? what message is the author trying to pass across? When we read A Doll's House, is it about divorce when Nora leaves Torvald? Is that the intention that Ibsen has? Is he encouraging divorce as a way of solving problems in marriage? When Mrs. Linde leaves Krogstad, is that what Ibsen is preaching, that when things get tough, you leave your broke partner and marry a rich man? Okay, so once you see the motives of the characters, then you'll understand the author's intended message. In this case, in A Doll's House, we'll talk about the sacrifices or the selflessness that these women have. Nora is forced to leave because Torvald has refused, or Torvald is stubborn and won't make any sacrifices for her, and yet she made so many sacrifices for his sake. And then Miss Linde has to leave Krogstad because Krogstad is broke, his prospects are bad, and the mother is bedridden and helpless, and the two young brothers depend on her, and so she's forced to live with a heavy heart. It wasn't easy, but it had to be done. So the message is sacrifice. The Pearl has the message of greed, and the Pearl is talking about the need to be contented, or the need to make wise decisions, or to listen to advice, and to check our desires. And that is the message in the book. You can ask yourself a few questions, like if we base our questions on Blossoms of the Savannah, is this story about FGM? What does Ole Kulet say about FGM? Does Ole Kulet support traditions or modernity? Is Kulet a feminist? Why does Pamwat die? Who are the good characters? And who are the bad characters? Of the two, which characters succeed and which ones fail? What are the outcomes of the characters' actions? When Olarinkoi tries to molest Rezian, what is the outcome? Is he a good person or a bad person? Discuss the issues of change in Blossoms of the Savannah, for instance, and do you learn any lessons from the episodes that you get in the books? Okay, yeah, so that is the fourth way. That is the fourth way to read the book, where you're trying to simply understand the message as intended by the author, not from okay, basically the universal way of looking at it without any biases. And then you can also interact with the text different ways. For instance, you can take up the roles and you can act the book. You can also watch some videos on YouTube and other clips that are acted by other people. And then you can also do hot sitting, where you have one person take up a role and the rest of the class asks them some questions. So next time we shall look at how to read with a view of responding to KCSE essay questions, and in this case simply just showing the candidates how to really go about the reading of the book, so we don't go deep into the issues. Next time we shall look at some of episodic approach, and then that way you'll understand now how to go deeper and get the details that are needed that you need to respond to KCSE essay questions. Feel free to subscribe, and if you have any questions, comments, leave them in the comment section. My name is Wafula Wekati. I teach English literature and I specialize in English paper 3. I have a blog called Wekati or a blog called Wekati blog, and you can find it at www.wekati.blogspot.com. We'll leave some links in the description. Feel free to check it out. We have a second blog, oral literature, not oral literature, oral skills, and that is darasabora.blogspot.com.